Welcome back, guys. As you can see, we are currently playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Yes, I was able to jump through about a half dozen hoops to get this thing to record, and I am so excited to be playing this for you guys. This is a RPG cult classic. It was published in 2004, but just to tell you how much it's loved, there are patches still coming out for this game. Fan-made patches that came out like last month, 2019. The fans have just kept it running for 15 years. This game is no longer playable without a fan-made patch. So it's a whole ordeal. Apparently, the company that made Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines went out of business. But there's actually a sequel coming out for this next year in March 2020. Not sure if it's a different company or what exactly happened, but I know you guys have probably heard me gushing about the new Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines game coming out next year. I'm so excited for it, and I've been wanting to play this game for you guys for some time. I wanted it to be one of the first Let's Plays I did because it's just one of my favorites. Fair warning, released in 2004. So it looks like it was made in 2004 if the 15 minutes of customized game logos at the beginning of this did not give that away for you guys. I hope you all had a nice warm feeling of deja vu as you remembered all your late 90s, early 2000s games. Whew, I am so excited. Alright, let's just jump into it. I will go over everything more as we play. Alright, so we're going to go directly to the character sheet. I actually did do a quiz earlier in the test recording, but I actually got Nosferatu, which was one of the two I did not want to play. There are several clans. There are 7 playable clans, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I can count. There are 7. And 2 of them do not make good first-time playthroughs, and those 2 are Nosferatu, which are named after, you know, the kind of horror, was it not Mary Shelley, just old classic Nosferatu vampires. They're, you know, these scary looking things. Not a bad playthrough, especially if you want to try and stealth through this game, but some of the mechanics of the game work differently when you play a Nosferatu. One being you generally travel through the sewers because you appearing as you do automatically gives away the masquerade, so it kind of limits your gameplay. The other one are Malkavians, which, interesting thing about the Malkavians, so we have the male Malkavian here. The female Malkavian is the only one with boob physics, and you know, I love that about the Malkavians. They are the only... I will show you another race. We'll go Toreador, no boob mechanics. Very solid triangle boobs, no boob physics. But the Malkavians, Their jugs bajiggle, let me just say that. Malkavians are actually my favorite clan to play, but again, they don't make for a great first playthrough because they are, the best way I can describe it is like the divination class of Vampire the Masquerade. A lot of their dialogue is really interesting and really funny and confusing and has a lot of foreshadowing if you've already played the game. But if you haven't played the game, it's super confusing and you can't really play a straightforward playthrough. It just doesn't work very well because a lot of the things they say don't make sense. I will show you guys a bit of a snippet of a Malkavian playthrough one of these days, just so you guys can kind of see how different it is. And after I have a couple of episodes out so that you can actually kind of see this foreshadowing that comes through. I really, aside from that, I haven't done a whole lot of thinking on these guys. I do want to play a woman because I play mostly men on our playthroughs and I think it would be fun. So we're going to go through the clans that I'm more interested in playing for a first time with you guys, and I will pick one. The histories are part of the patch. There is, like I said, the fan-made patch mostly just makes the game playable on the on modern PCs. However, there are some additional content added, and histories are one of them. So I'm gonna not do that for this playthrough. And yes, the music did just stop. It's not on a loop. They just stopped. So that's not an issue. That's just the game. So this is the Bruja, or as I like to call them, the Bruhaha, because they are passionate idealists and rebels, most likely to fight for their rights than write protest songs. In life, most Bruja sought social change, and in undeath, most clan members commonly seek the creation of vampiric utopia, as militant radicals are known for their combat skills, but are also more likely to frenzy due to their hot-bloodedness, so to speak. And then they've got kind of their stats, which we'll go through those on the next page. Then we've got the Gangrel, which is a race I've actually played before. These are basically the werewolf variant, is the best way I can describe it. Gangrel are wild loners that are most in tune with the beast within, allowing them to shapeshift into more beastly forms. Nomadic in nature, Gangrel care little about vampire politics and prefer to dwell and hunt in the outskirts of society. Interesting playthrough. This was actually my first playthrough, was a Gangrel. Holds a special place in my heart. Then we've got the Malkavian and the Nosferatu, the Toreador. Picture themselves as artists and visionaries. They value the high society mentality of the Camarilla reinforces. Of course, clans, the Toreador are the most connected to the mortal world through arts and entertainment. Toreador are the beautiful creatures. I don't know that word. And seductive, and most effortlessly, whatever. These are the most human versions. So they have higher humanity, but every race, every clan has their benefits and their drawbacks. This one is the most human one of them. Then we've got the Tremere, which are kind of like the mage class, is the best way I can describe it. Blood sorcerers born from mystic rituals and Diel, whatever. The Tremere are the least trusted of the Camarilla clans. The ritual of the Tremere used to transform from living mages into undying monsters, strip them of their magic arts. To compensate, the vampire of Clan Tremere developed thaumaturgy, the powerful discipline of blood magic. The clan guards its secrets jealously and are the only kindred to wield this powerful discipline. The pursuits of arcane knowledge come before all else, and the reliance of it has weakened the bloodline. Yeah. So they're the mage class. Again, no boob physics, just pointing that out. And then Venture. Yes. Truly the upper echelons of society, Venture are seen as the honorable and virtuous leaders of the Camarilla. They wholeheartedly support the Masquerade, influence the mortal and undead worlds to help them maintain the Masquerade, as well as garner support for themselves. Clan Venture is an exclusive and powerful gathering of mortals, and even the lowest initiative Clan Venture can expect special treatment of kindred society. The regal bloodline, however, gains no nourishment from lowborn and thin-blooded. Ventura gain no blood from feeding on animals, feeding on low life. Oh dear God. I'm tempted to do this one because so there's 3 endings to this. There is the Camarilla, the rebels, and yourself. You can actually side with neither. And I think I have never actually played through the Camarilla, despite how many times I've started this game. I actually haven't completely ended it many times. So I think this might add a fun challenge to a little Venturi. I'm actually not 100% sure on that. Add a little bit of challenge because you can't feed on low blood humans. But, you know, actually be a relatively normal playthrough for you guys. So how about we do that? Sounds like fun. Okay, so we're going to be Athena. The name of my dog. It'll be fine. So a couple of stats we've got here. Humanity is if you can lose humanity by killing people, and if it completely drains, you'll frenzy, which could injure the Masquerade, which is over here. You can actually buy humanity points with your stats. We can't this time because they're all locked to attributes, abilities, and disciplines, which we'll get to in a second. Yeah, but humanity, we can add to that later if we really need to. I haven't really had an issue with that. The Masquerade is doing things that basically make people believe that vampires exist. You can get a Masquerade violation, and too many Masquerade violations mean vampire hunters will start chasing you, which is bad. So you can't feed on people in like broad open areas. You can't use some of these powers, like presence carries no risk of violating the Masquerade. Fortitude and I think dominate. Yeah, so none of these actually risk violating the Masquerade, but there are some that definitely would. For example, the Gangrel can summon like ghost animals to fight for them, and that obviously is not something you see in everyday society. So, yeah. The rest of this stuff is kind of your general just skills for what they do, and they'll tell you which ones go to which. Is convenient over here. Not really going to matter for you guys, just the type of gameplay we're going to play. I tend to be more on the stealth and like persuasion side, but you cannot avoid combat in this game. You are going to have to fight, and the type of combat I prefer is melee because I can't shoot guns to save my life ever. So, as in all games, I suck at shooters. Period. So, I'm probably going to lean towards more a hacky melee type of build, and we will add more stats as it comes to us. One important thing to mention, though, is you can actually stack your stats. As you can see, we've got 2 points to... For example, we have 2 points to spend in social. I could put both of those points in manipulation, which will save me like 20 points that I could add later. Because, you know, each bubble cost increasingly more points, but our initial points cost 1. You basically just get a free checkbox. So you can really stack your skills early. And I like to stack my skills early in usually security for lockpicking and computers for hacking, because both of those are pretty big mechanics in the game. However, melee would actually be really good too, so is stealth. Again, the type of gameplay I like to play. Generally, I'm not just going to roll in and try and kill everybody, but again, there is combat in this game that you cannot avoid. You will fight something, so you better put points in it. So I think since I can put 2 talents in, 2 pieces in talents, I'm going to put this in security. I'm scholarship. Haggle can be helpful, but generally I haven't found it to be super useful. Let's see. Manipulation again. Persuasion. So are we going to do... let's do charisma so we can be more persuasive versus... Although seduction helps us get free prostitutes. But we can't drink from prostitutes, so I guess that's fair. Okay, so we're going to go with charisma. Can't add anything to physical strength or physical stuff here. Mental, not gonna give a shit about. Ranged combat, research and intimidation is good. Hacking and combat defense. Let's go with that one. Let's see. Get 2 talents. Brawl, which everything tells you what they do at the bottom if you want to kind of pause and read as I'm just kind of scrolling through, because I'm not going to do too much of the, hardcore RPG stuff. Let's see. So that'll be unarmed combat, which we're going to mostly be armed. Let's do intimidation and dodge. We did security for that one. We're definitely going to put 2 in computer. I think this was persuasion. Let's put this here, and then we get to add 1 to our disciplines. Let's see. Fortitude's a good one. I think all clans have fortitude. It kind of boosts your skills to do certain things. Very helpful if you're very close to being able to like pick a lock or hack a computer, but you're only a couple of points down. Let's do dominate. I feel like that'll be helpful with stuff. Alright, so let's just jump in.
I want to show you something.
And we're dead, guys. That's the end of the game.
Good evening.
Just joking.
My fellow kindred, my apologies for disrupting any business or interfering with prior engagements you may have had this evening. It's unfortunate that the affair that gathers us together tonight is a troubling one. We are here because the laws that bind our society, the laws that are the fabric of our existence, have been broken. As Prince, I am within my rights to grant or deny the kindred of this city the privilege of siring. Many of you have come to me seeking permission, and I have endorsed some of these requests. However, the accused that sits before you tonight was not refused permission. Indeed, my permission was never sought at all. They were caught shortly after the embrace of this child. It pains me to announce the sentence, as up to tonight I considered the accused a loyal and upstanding member of our organization. But as some of you may know, the penalty for this transgression is death. Know that I am no more adjudicator than I am a servant to the law that governs us all. Let tonight's proceedings serve as a reminder to our community that we must adhere to the code that binds our society, lest we endanger all of our blood. Forgive me. Let the penalty commence. Which leads to the fate of the ill-begotten progeny. Without a sire, most childer are doomed to walk the earth never knowing their place, their responsibility, and most importantly, the laws they must obey. Therefore, I have decided that...
This is bullshit!
If Mr. Rodriguez would let me finish, I have decided to let this kindred live. They shall be instructed in the ways of our kind and be granted the same rights.
God.
Let no one say I am
Those eyes,
unsympathetic to
man.
the plights and causes of this community. I thank you all for attending these proceedings, and I hope their significance is not lost. Good evening.
I love that floating, dude.
Your sire, tragic, my apologies. But you see, there is a strict code of conduct that all of us must adhere to if we wish to survive. When anyone breaks these laws, they undermine the well-worn fabric of our centuries-old society. Understand my predicament. Allowing you to live makes me directly responsible for your subsequent behavior. So, what I'm offering is not
Walking
generosity,
like that.
but the opportunity to transcend the fate woven by your sire. This is your trial. You will be brought to Santa Monica. There, you will meet an agent by the name of Mercurio. He will provide the details of your labor. I've shown you great clemency. Prove it was more than a wasted gesture, fledgling. Don't come back until you do. Good evening.
So, yeah. As you can see, the developers did their best for 2004. So, I think they did pretty good, I think, with what we've got. So there are a couple of scenes here that are going to just have some weird graphical glitches. Patch should help with the game-breaking ones, but some of them just cannot be helped, like the weird, eyes flickering into the back of their head or floating on top of the ground. They do their best. So that was basically the head of the Camarilla there, who was in charge of the Mr. Cloud with the giant sword, and our sire that is now dead because we are a new vampire. We're gonna play in third person, even though occasionally it jumps into first person because that's just how the game is.
What a scene, man! Woo-wee! Then they just plop you out here like a naked baby in the woods. How about that? Look, kiddo, this is probably a lot for you to take in, so why don't you let me show you the ropes? What do you say?
This is the tutorial. We're actually going to run through it because they give you a free lockpicking kit, and it will kind of introduce you guys to the kind of the politics of this game. Who are you?
I'm Jack. What's important is I'm offering help. You make it back from Santa Monica with your hide and we'll trade life stories, okay? Till then, I got about this much time. You in or out?
Yeah, we're going to be in. I fucking love Jack. He's great. Okay, I could use the help.
Alright. Why don't we, step out back here?
I like where I am. At least I'm out of that theater.
Christ, it's stuffy in there, huh? This is much better. Now, we ain't got much time, but I figure somebody should fill you in on the bare bones stuff at least, you know? Could save your hide. You look wobbly. You even had a drink yet?
He doesn't pause at all. Immediately just jumps to the next audio clip. I don't remember.
Oh man, we're popping a cherry here. Ah, you're gonna love this. Alright, check it out. Blood, it's your new rack of lamb, your new champagne. Blood, your new fucking heroin, kid. Get ready though, cause hey, it's never as sweet as the first time.
What do I do?
Well, down around the corner there, I saw this human. Poor SOB can't find his car.
So, what do I mean,
Alright. You go down there, casual like. You creep up on him, you bare those little fangs and feed. Don't worry if you weren't captain of the wrestling team or something, because it'll come so naturally you think you've done it 1,000 times already.
Won't he become a vampire then?
Forget that comic book crap, kid. It don't work that way. Now go for it. Be sure, though, and this is important, so listen up. Be sure not to drain them dry, okay? It might be hard to resist, but don't kill them.
Alright. Yep. Blood pool on the right. Oh, there he is. Yep. Blood pool on the right. Yep. I forgot the button, even though it just gave it to me. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of failed feeling attempts because I just kind of walk up to people and sometimes the game just doesn't latch. Alright, we're good. Drop him off. There you go. And he was a nice boy, so we got nice and full, guys. Yep. Oh, there's a pole there. Jack just hanging out.
Ah, yeah. Hell yeah, you're feeling it. I can see it in your eyes. You're a born-again predator. Feeling that blood.
His beard
bubbling
doesn't
inside you,
move.
lifting you up. That's it, kid. That's what it's all about right there.
It's like his beard is on a different, like, polygon. And so it's... his mouth is moving, but his beard is staying the same. Great. When do I get my cape? Do I pick the color?
Alright now, you got the blood, you're feeling all kick-ass, feeling better than your best day living, but wait, it gets better. All kindred, that's our word for vampire. All kindred have a few things in common. Things that set them right square above humans on the food chain.
Yeah? Like what?
Like sharper senses, a body that can take a beating, and if you play your cards right, eternal life. That's no sure bet, but still, a chance at immortality's not a bad deal. And that's just for starters. Fringe benefits for joining the club.
So, I'm gonna live forever?
Well, you can still be destroyed, but forget the books and the movies. Garlic is worthless. A cross? Pfft, shove it right up their ass. A stake? Only if it catches you in the heart, and then it just paralyzes you. Running water? That's no problem. I bathe. Occasionally. Now, a shotgun blast to the head. Oh, that's trouble, boy. Fire? That's real trouble. Sunlight? Well, you catch a sunrise and it's all over, kiddo. Get it?
Got it.
Okay, now. The fuck is this? You get inside here and head upstairs. Meet up in a bit. I'm just gonna go see what the fuck this is.
Fun. You do that. Yeah, so, gunshots and screaming. Sounds great.